Oh, hey, it's you. Oh, dude, this is great. I've been looking for you. I want to take you on a journey. Would you be so kind as to accompany me? Yes? Oh, I mean, no, nothing's wrong. I kind of expected you to say no. Well, don't back out now. We've already begun. Look, we're gonna travel through time, just for a little bit. It'll be painless. Destination number 1, 2017.
This day or never, I'll sit forever with the gods.
How did that get... Look, we're not here to talk about me. 7 years ago, an astral event darkened the skies above the United States and dazzled millions of onlookers. A solar eclipse whose path of totality hung like a sash draped around the shoulders of the lower 48 states. Not since 1918 had the path of a solar eclipse like this one spanned all the way from the Atlantic to the Pacific coast of the US. And this spring...
She's back, baby! That's right, party people! We here in 2024 are due for a sequel! Solar Eclipse 2, Blazing Boogaloo!
And this time around, she's bigger, badder, and planning to stick around for just a little while longer. She's even going to be making an appearance in the great state of Oklahoma. How nice of her to notice us. Today, we're going to talk about what makes this year's eclipse so special, and witness firsthand the sorts of emotions that a random act of the uncaring universe can bring about. You ready? Let's get rolling. For real this time.
You know, I've always thought that there's just something so cosmically captivating about an eclipse. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, the humans of the past and present certainly seem to, since before we had even invented the words to describe this phenomenon. We've been borderline obsessed as a species. Sometimes they were an act of cosmic mischief. Sometimes they were a sign from the gods, but eclipses have always been a big deal.
Even in this new age of demystification, where we've come to understand more and more of what was previously thought inconceivable, the sight of an eclipse still inspires a feeling of wonder in those of us who are lucky enough to witness one.
Why is everybody getting so turned up about this year's eclipse? Well, aside from the fact that eclipses are just rad as heck, more people are going to get a chance to actually see the thing.
According to NASA, our home star has been in its solar maximum era recently, which means that we might be seeing increased solar activity like solar flares, or perhaps even a brighter corona. In addition to that, the path of totality, which is the area from which you'll be able to see the true total solar eclipse, name's starting to make sense now, yeah? Cool. That's going to be much wider than it was in 2017.
And it's not just about how accessible this one's going to be. There are a ton of fun, informational, scientific little tidbits about this year's eclipse that have got people so genuinely stoked to drive for hours in some cases just to catch a glimpse. But, you know, to demonstrate that, I think I'd need more than a pair of balls that my dogs were kind enough to let me borrow. If only I had access to a planetarium. Could blow up a map of the stars, or maybe even just a group of geeky, fun, knowledgeable people that I could ask, but where would I find something like that?
We have to go to the Science Museum.
Where?
The Science Museum.
Huh?
The Science Museum.
The Science Museum.
We went to the Science Museum. And we saw so much science. We saw a thing that went up high, and then we saw this thing here. Yeah, we did.
Yes, the illustrious Science Museum, Oklahoma. More specifically, to the Kirkpatrick Planetarium, to have a chat with local micro-celebrity and human sunbeam, Astoria Halford, the museum's planetarium educator.
Solar eclipses happen during the daytime, during a new moon, where the moon is blocking out the sun. You have annular eclipses and you have total solar eclipses. So the one we had back in October was an annular.
It's even possible for an eclipse to switch back and forth between total and annular to form a sort of hybrid eclipse as the moon's shadow passes across the planet. Speaking of old lady Luna, her elliptical orbit is the reason we have all this variety in the first place.
The thing about the moon's orbit is it's not circular. And so again, because of orbits, sometimes even if it does line up, it's too far away and you still have that ring of light around that you can still see. We call it like the ring of fire. So that sometimes happens, whereas with a total eclipse, that is when it is completely covered and you don't have that light leaking out. Because you are blocking out that light, you're seeing the corona, and so you're seeing all this really cool detail that you normally obviously wouldn't be able to see because the light from the sun is preventing you from doing that.
After the interview, we talked a little bit more about how NASA and the ESA, which is the European Space Agency, are using this opportunity to learn more about our sun, launching rockets into the moon's shadow to determine specifically how events like these affect us here on Earth. She also let slip that the next time so many Americans are going to be treated to an event like this, a total solar eclipse, is in August of 2045. 2045. I already struggle with back pain. Look at my posture in this shot. I can't imagine driving cross-state or, stars forbid, cross the country to try and catch something like this again. No. Clearly, this splendid, spectacular, wonderful chance, this once-in-a-generational opportunity is not something that I can afford to miss. So, I won't. Do you want to come watch an eclipse with me?
All right, I can practically hear you asking yourself, Idabel? Where the heck? Idabel is the seat of McCurtain County in the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. It's a town of about 7,000 people in the far southeast of the state. Nowadays, it's a place that city slickers like yours truly are probably most familiar with as a little dot in the right-hand corner of the map. You know, the one that David Payne will occasionally point at when he's making his best guess at where the latest storm is headed. This year, though, residents and likely thousands of tourists will be turning their eyes to the skies for another reason. Sleepy little Idabel just so happens to be on the center line of the path of totality. And thus the destination was set, but this was not a journey that I could undertake alone, so I gathered my things and I called in some backup.
Seth Monster! Seth Monster, Monster Seth! Seth Monster!
Seth is a good friend of mine. He's a professional photographer and a consummate goofball. He's also one of the only people I know who would be willing to drive for about 4 hours just so that we could look at the sky for about 4 minutes. With our equipment in tow, we departed OKC, pondering along the way the wondrous landmarks of our long country roads.
You ever been to Robertson's ham sandwiches? Robertson's real beef jerky.
We ventured forth into the sunset, and into the twilight after that, eventually making our very late-night arrival.
Left the pillow in and out. In-N-Out burger. You tell this burger is in and out of me.
The other side. That's it.
You go short guy, I'm a smart guy.
You bet, man.
Hey, who cooking in here? Who cooking in here?
That's gonna be me this morning.
There is a problem. At least there could be a problem. See, tomorrow's forecast is set to be overcast. Clouds. They might get in the way of our viewing of the eclipse.
Can't you just use this recent photo? All right.
Nevertheless, they say God gives his toughest battles to his handsomest soldiers, so we march on.
All that worrying, though, would have to wait for tomorrow. We would need plenty of sleep for the day we had ahead of us.
Well, I am an Idabel. You be sleepy, princess?
Dude.
We're in scenic Idabel, Oklahoma. You can tell because the water tower says Idabel.
The next day, after some hotel breakfast, we took a drive around town, searching for a spot to set up. Now, I'll be honest, we expected to be competing with thousands of eager eclipse enthusiasts. But what we found was, well, not that. So, with what was apparently an open playing field stretched out before us, we took a look at the map. Where in historic Idabel could we... Wait, what is... Does that... Oh, no. Does that say... Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely yes.
Then there he is, the gas squatch.
Say that again, please.
This is the promised land for atheists.
Gasquatch was truly a sight to behold. I mean, seriously, if your path ever takes you to Idabel, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't at least visit this place. But there was little time to fawn over this ravishing little rest stop. The moment we had come all this way for was fast approaching. We had to set up, and quick.
So we're out here at the Gasquatch. I'm gonna have Seth take you through exactly how we're shooting this eclipse. Seth, give me the rundown, give me the run up. Run all over me.
So we got the camera. I get this thing to autofocus when I find the actual area of the sun. I can do that by turning this all the way down, and you can see the little halo of the dang old thing right there. So then what I did is I turned the ISO all the way back up, and the shutter speed all the way back up, and then I put this funny little guy on top of it. It's literally just like your glasses that you have, like these things right here, but for your camera. And then I found that the camera here on the screen can find where the sun is and see it through the thing. And so then I zoom all the way in with my 300mm lens. It focuses, and then here on the lens itself, if you want to see this, when it's focused on there, I press manual focus, and it keeps that focus locked.
Despite all this hard work and dedication, though, neither of us were sure yet if we would even get the chance to see it.
Here at the wonderful Gasquatch gas station, we've just started the eclipse. The moon is just starting to creep in front of the sun, and it's been intermittent with the clouds. I mean, we've had a couple moments of light, we've had a couple moments of darkness. I'm hopeful. Maybe that's in vain, but I am hopeful that we will get to see a show.
A few minutes before totality, the clouds had completely blotted out the sun. What was it all for, we wondered? Would this blanket of floating buzzkills spoil our storybook ending? But then, magic. Just as the moon began to kiss the edge of the sun's face, the wind carried the clouds across the plains.
Woohoo! Who's laughing now? Shut up!
And we were treated to a sight that we would never forget.
She's coming around.
You see it?
Yeah!
I cursed my hands that they shook so fervently with excitement, but how could you blame me? In an instant, the world went black, the air went cold, and a choir of crickets began to sing. How is one supposed to feel in moments like these? Like staring into the eyes of the boundless universe. Just the one eye, I suppose, but an eye that so kindly and curiously turned to look our way, if only for a few fleeting moments, as if to make sure we hadn't gone and screwed it all up yet.
Coming at you live with Ben Corman and the
Yes.
total solar eclipse.
I am patently emotional. It's gorgeous, and I might shed genuine tears.
It's good.
Then, just as quickly as it came, it passed.
What else can you say but wow? Wow. First off, wow. Second off, oh wow. I mean, Seth, my man.
Wow.
Wow. What a sight. One of the most incredible astral events in the past century, I suppose. I mean, we got one in 2017, but this was gorgeous. The next time we get an eclipse like this, I will be 45 years old.
And you're old.
Yeah, I'm elderly by this point. I'll either have a mortgage or the world will have blown up. Well, we'll find out when I'm 40. I'll see you then.